Everyone thinks that to be popular, you have to be the loudest person in the room. You know the type, they always have the perfect joke. They never run out of things to say. And they effortlessly command everyone's attention. We're taught that social magnets are just born that way, blessed with extreme extroversion and charisma. But that is not true at all. The real difference isn't how entertaining they are. It is how they process social interactions. You don't need to be a natural extrovert. And you definitely don't need to fake a bubbly personality to be deeply liked. You just need to change your social operating system. Today, I'm going to show you 5 completely counterintuitive things. Things that truly popular people do differently. These are subtle, almost invisible habits. But if you start doing these things, you'll notice changes right away. People will naturally gravitate towards you. Social anxiety will start to fade, and you'll build genuine connections without feeling emotionally drained. So, let's jump right in. 1. They focus on being interested, not interesting. Here is something most people get entirely wrong about conversations. When they meet someone new, they panic. They think, what do I say next? How do I sound smart? How do I prove my value? They turn the interaction into a performance. But truly magnetic people do the exact opposite. They take the spotlight off themselves and shine it directly on the other person. They aren't trying to be the most fascinating person. They're trying to be the most fascinated. When someone brings up a hobby, they don't immediately hijack the conversation to talk about their own experiences. Instead, they ask probing, genuine questions. How did you even get started doing that? Or what is the hardest part about learning that skill? People absolutely love talking about themselves. It is human nature. When you give someone the space to share their passion, and you actively listen without interrupting to tell your own story, their brain associates that dopamine rush with you. You become incredibly memorable simply because you made them feel seen and valued. 2. They gossip, but only in reverse. We all know that toxic gossip destroys trust. If you're bad-mouthing someone behind their back, the person listening to you is secretly thinking, what do they say about me when I'm not around? Most people try to bond over shared complaints or mutual dislikes. It is a cheap, easy way to build a temporary connection. But highly respected people use a secret weapon, positive gossip. They intentionally praise people when they aren't in the room. They'll say things like, Sarah is incredibly sharp. Her presentation yesterday was flawless. Or if you need help with that, talk to Mark. He is an absolute genius at solving those problems. Here is the psychological magic behind this. There is a concept called spontaneous trait transference. When you describe someone else with positive adjectives, the listener's brain unconsciously attaches those exact same positive traits to you. If you constantly call other people brilliant, kind, and hardworking, people will naturally view you as brilliant, kind, and hardworking. Plus, when that praise inevitably gets back to Sarah or Mark, you've just created a fiercely loyal friend. 3. They intentionally reveal their flaws. Most people are terrified of looking foolish. They curate their lives carefully. They hide their mistakes. They pretend to know things they don't. And they project this image of bulletproof perfection. But perfection is cold. It is intimidating. It makes other people feel insecure. Truly popular people understand that vulnerability is the ultimate bridge between human beings. They don't hide their minor embarrassments. They lean into them. If they spill coffee on their shirt, they make a joke about it. If they don't understand a complex topic being discussed, they'll comfortably say, I have absolutely no idea. What that means, can you explain it to me? Like I'm a 5-year-old? By admitting a small flaw or a gap in knowledge, they signal to everyone around them, I'm safe, I'm human, you don't have to pretend around me. This immediately lowers the defensive shields of everyone in the room. When you stop fighting to look perfect, people actually start trusting you more. 4. They collect and track microdata. Anyone can remember a name or what someone does for a living. That is basic networking, but social magnets pay attention to the throwaway lines, the tiny details that most people ignore. Let's say a coworker casually mentions on a Tuesday that their dog hasn't been eating well, or a friend mentions in passing that they're nervous about a dental appointment on Friday. Most people hear that, nod, and instantly forget it. Smart communicators store that microdata. Then, a few days later, they follow up. They send a quick text, "Hey, just checking in. How did the dentist appointment go?" Or, "Is your dog feeling any better today?" This blows people away. It requires almost zero effort. But the emotional return on investment is massive. It communicates, "I was actively listening to you, and I care enough about your life to remember the little things." People don't remember you for the grand gestures. They remember you for the tiny moments of consistent attention. 5. They ask for small, easy favors. This sounds completely backward. We're usually taught that to get people to like us, we need to do favors for them. We bend over backward, we people please, and we offer help constantly. But doing too much for others can make them feel burdened or indebted. Highly likable people use a psychological phenomenon called the Benjamin Franklin effect. They occasionally ask others for minor, frictionless forms of assistance. They might say, "Hey, can I borrow your pen for a second?" Or, "You always have great taste in books. What should I read next?" Or, "Could you quickly show me how you formatted this spreadsheet?" When someone does a small favor for you, their brain has to justify the action. It subconsciously rationalizes, "I'm helping this person. Therefore, I must like them." It makes the other person feel competent, valued, and respected. You aren't burdening them. You're giving them an opportunity to feel good about themselves. Here is what this all means. You don't need to change your core personality. You don't need to drain your social battery, trying to entertain everyone you meet. You just need to flip the script. Stop trying to be interesting and start being interested. Spread positive gossip instead of negativity. Own your flaws instead of hiding them. Remember the microdata and don't be afraid to ask for small favors, to let others feel valued. Most people will never do these things. They'll keep talking over people, projecting fake perfection, and trying to win social interactions. But if you practice these 5 habits, your relationships will transform. People will start seeking out your company. You'll feel deeply connected to others, without the exhaustion of putting on an act. That is what true social magnetism looks like. And now you have the blueprint to build it. Here is what I want you to do right now. Pick just one of these 5 habits. Just one. Maybe tomorrow, you try spreading a piece of positive gossip. Or maybe you intentionally follow up on some microdata with a friend. Focus on just that one thing for the next week. And to help you stick with it, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I make videos like this every week to help you understand human psychology.